So I translated some of these so that they're more English friendly for you guys, and so they might sound like kind of weird. But the first question, and this is for more of the games in Korea and Japan and the United States, is what are the characteristics of a successful game for you guys? Anyone can start. KH. Ko.
Want me to start? I'll start.
Ko start.
Successful game. I mean, ultimately, it needs to be fun, right? Hey,
guys. Basically, right?
Hey, people over there. Kidding. Well, it needs to be a fun game. I think a lot of it is that games on, especially on our mobile platforms, have definitely been, I mean, you've seen the explosive growth. You've seen how it has evolved and how it's evolved very quickly. I mean, I still remember 3-4 years ago when Angry Birds was the game, right? But now you're seeing a lot more complicated, a lot more complex, deeply immersive games that you thought you would see on PC like 5-6 years ago, and it's now possible now, right? So just the strength of the hardware, mobile broadband penetration, and just like in general, just people's ability to develop all these really interesting and high quality experiences for a mobile device. But in the end, a game has to be fun, right? Like match 3 is nothing new. Strategy is nothing new. RPGs are not new. They've existed 20, 30 years ago. It's ultimately how do you present that in a way that's deeply engaging and fun to the user and players of today.
I agree with Ko that definitely high quality and great content is the number one. But thinking of I would like to mention that the casual games, I think it needs to be local, and then hardcores. I think the local event is much more important rather than having some local specific characters. For example, Summon War, when they launched their games, they really focusing on do some local event. So they really want to engage with hardcore users after they install the games. So that event was very successful, and then now they are still continue to investing in that local event.
And also the adding the new function to the mobile users from the user perspective is looks like 3-match games. In the market there are tons of the 3-match games. So they decided to use the 3-match game is just IP stuff, or probably it's more like looks fun or something like that. But once the game has unique functions like multiplayer near the friends, then that make more unique in the market, in the game side. That's making it fun and making the users and making revenue as well. That's the things, I guess.
And then, like, another thing you have to really think about is it's all about your community, right? Your players are your biggest advocates, are the ones that are going to go tell their other friends to play this game. I think one of the biggest, I think is probably even mandatory. I don't think it's a characteristic. I now think it's a requirement, is that you need to be able to build. How do you build a game that's a service, that's something that's like kind of like will build that relationship with the player? If you look at some of the top games that are in any of these markets, right, probably outside of more of the emerging and more newer markets, is that a lot of these games have been around for multiple years, and it's because, and that success has been built upon their ability to really understand who their player are and what they want, and to actually iterate and update the games and optimize it, and based on what the players are asking for. So that sense of community and building a community is going to be very important.
Thanks, guys. This next question is for Tony on Google Play Game Services, and it's what kind of things do we need to look out for in terms of like a successful Google Play Game Services integration? So you can talk about more of the technical API stuff, but you can also talk about just in general for Google Play Game Services too.
Okay. 我就用中文嘛，所以刚才的问题是怎么样去做那个 Google Play Game Service 整合的时候，有什么东西要留意，怎么样是一个成功的一个整合了。其实在整合 Google Play Game Service 之前可能有一个比较重要的东西，就是说可能很多人就马上去看我们的API 档，然后在想做一个整合，但是有一件东西可能你们没有去留意的，就是我们还有一些有一个连接在我们的开发 developer 网站上面，是有一些Play Game Service 的 Game Engine 的支持。比如说我刚才在我的演讲里面提到，比如说 Unity， 我们已经有一个 official 的 plugin，在 Coco 2DX 里面可能也会有相对的一些，我们也有跟Coco 那边有直接的一些 engineer 的合作，所以他们也会做一些 plugin， 而且在 GitHub 上面也会有很多相对这其他一些小的 game engine 上面都会有一些整合，所以在整合Play Game Service 的时候，我会建议大家会先去看看有没有一些已经有的开源的，可能已经有支持某一些 game engine 的 plugin 的插件，然后可以节省很多你们的时间。另外呢，就是在测试的可能在整合之后，有很多时候我会发现一些 integration 可能不会在测试方面可能做的不是很够的，比如说一般在正常的情况下做一个sign in 之后肯定就没问题。那如果那个 user 突然就不想 sign in 做 cancel 的动作，你们究竟有没有code去take care 那种情况呢？因为我有时候玩一些游戏一般正常的那个 flow 了都没有问题的，但是如果在不正常的那些 flow 的时候呢，可能在你做 cancel 的时候马上就跳出来exception 然后所以那些都是应该要留意的地方。
Play game services.
As the good sample from the Japanese market is most likely using the cloud saving. It's not actual the play game services, but they are using the cloud saving for saving the data on the Android as well as on the iOS. So user actually using the data on the Android and the iOS. So that's a good sample of the play game services as well.
Again, the Summoners were the one of successful cases of going global project from Korea. They gave us very interesting numbers. They are implementing two the APIs. One is their own APIs, and the other one is Google Play Game Services. And then they're saying that actually they're very successful globally, and then more than around 80%. They are using Google Play Game Services. So to make users interact within their games, I think the Google Play Game Service is very effective. And then thinking of global market, I think you can and if you think of more than billion Android users as your customers, then you need to think about the Google Play Game Services.
KH, this one's kind of more for you, but can you talk about like opportunities? Because you talk about Com2Us a lot, right? And a lot of developers are probably wondering, how do we get the same type of opportunities to work with Google Play, right? Because, right, like in Korea, there's Com2Us, and Japan, we have, we've worked very closely with Mixi so if you want to go into detail about how they go about being able to have these opportunities to work so closely with Google Play. Yeah, on the marketing side, those kind of things, yeah. Yeah, relationship, yeah. Yeah, so you can talk about like, gift card launch, the co-promotion with gift cards and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone is talking about featuring games or featuring application within Google Play store. I think that is one of our in-store marketing, but we are also investing in we are helping our great contents of Google Play to be shown, out of store. So for example, when we launched Google Play gift card in Hong Kong, we worked with Comtus and then our marketing teams, and then actually we wrapped the CVS in Hong Kong. So we featured our Google Play gift card and their games offline. So actually the campaign was super successful, and then we launched our Google Play gift card in Korea in November, and then actually we wrapped the pillars of the major subway stations with Google Play gift card and game titles. So actually we really want to try to provide some out of store marketing opportunities for our developers. Once you develop really great contents.
Almost same in Japan too. It's a good contents making our bringing in good users, and we would like to encourage those contents to expand more users.
It's the same in Taiwan and Hong Kong as well. We also do a lot of with 6 Waves. We did a promo code campaign where they handed out. They went to Ocean Park and handed out stuff. Tony, you can probably talk more about that if you want.
所以我们有跟在香港有一个游戏开发团队叫 Six Way， 我们跟他们有一个promotion 是在海洋公园，在香港，他们就发一些扇子给那些游客，然后他们在扇子上面就有一个 app 的 promo code， 然后在那个 promo code 就可以在 Google Play 上面去。拿到一些可能 download 下载他们的游戏，所以那个也是一个非常有效的一个 promotion。
This question's for Ko. What are common strategies for successfully launching a game in U.S. and in like a Western market? Like we call Ome, which is like a combination of like Europe and America. Yeah, but.
Well, I don't know. It's really not that much different. I mean, I've talked about. I mean, like you see a lot of. I mean, like here in Japan, like Korea and Asia. I mean, you see a lot more like out of home and all that stuff. And I'm slowly seeing a lot of that in the United States as well. A lot of these game companies are coming out with much bigger marketing campaigns. It's largely online, but it's ultimately is really finding out and getting user feedback directly, because a lot of these users do live online, and so it's just finding the right communities, the right kind of sources and channels to touch in and figure out, hey, like how am I going to get the users to install the game, but also how am I going to continue to engage users in a way to get them to feel empowered to talk more about my game. So looking at what your social mechanics are within the game in terms of virality and how people are going to share content and their progress to other players, also hitting like the right communities, whether it's on Reddit or if it's on YouTube or whether that's on Twitch. There's tons of other all of these kind of video game focused communities that a lot of these players are on. So it's just really understanding your own game genre mechanic. I mean, clearly you want to make sure that whatever your users are going to share is going to be very relevant to the game, but also is going to be engaging or attractive to other users. And so then in the US, it's largely a lot of it's online marketing. I've seen some interesting things done with video in terms of video sharing, live streaming. Also like work with more of the kind of the YouTube stars and celebrities. So a lot of it's just understanding that just like any user, the users live online, is just finding out where online they see and then making sure your game kind of is in that channel.
Video sharing is getting bigger in the US.
Oh yeah, it's very big in the US.
Is it common?
It's pretty common.
Does
yeah.
it have to implement the video
It's
sharing
not have
functions?
to, but video tends to convert users a lot higher than still images. So.
How about Korea?
The YouTube creator actually they are developing their own content. So the individual content creator, they're introducing games and then they're playing games and they're sharing that video clips is getting super popular. So actually that YouTube creators they are becoming a celebrity. So so we figure out many gamers, they're watching that kind of video, and then it's a great way of engaging with the users.
So in Japan, YouTubers is getting popular, and also the video sharing function is getting popular too. So some top developers implement the share function of the share videos, playing the videos. And there are two popular the SDKs in Japan right now. One domestic and one overseas.
That kind of leads into my next question. And this will probably be our last question, but this is one from the audience that was in the box, and it's what are some non-paying, because we talked about AdMob, right, and everyone knows about user acquisition, but they are asking, what are some non-paying ways to promote your apps on Google Play? So without buying, spending money on user acquisition, what are some ways to promote your app on Google Play?
So
I know so video sharing can be one of those, right?
Yeah, video sharing, building out communities. So social media has actually been a very interesting channels for organic user acquisition, mostly because it's a lot closer to, your game. I think like video gamers tend to be very, very engaged fans. They like to share their content. They like to talk about it. They like to tell other people that they should play their game and a lot of stuff. So social media becomes very interesting in spec. And then we're not just talking video. We're talking about all the common places, Twitter, Facebook, even to some extent like G+ and all that stuff. But really it's knowing where these users are kind of congregating and talking about your game. And a lot of them are just talking about it. Like you see people create their own fan sites on the web about these games, right? You see this at Call of Duty. We see this with a lot of the big console games. And I'm seeing a lot of this even happening on kind of the mobile side as well. And so kind of building out these communities, building out your brand so that people can interact with it. But then they have a forum and a place to interact with other players that also enjoy the game is going to become a very powerful way to kind of engage users and empower them to talk more.
Did you guys have anything to add?
Besides
Non-paying ways, I guess.
Besides featuring.
Getting featured. This is something we didn't talk on a lot, and I know I think I drew about like 10 of these questions that said, 我在 Google Play 怎么被推荐？我要被 feature 在 Google Play 上面是怎么做？ So there is no definitive answer, right? There is no like if you do everything you will get featured list. However, we do urge everyone. Tony touched on it earlier in his core app quality on developerandroid.com. So 你去我们的 developer 的网站，你可以看到我们的 core app quality。你想平常你要把一个平常你把你的 APK upload 在 Google Play 上面的时候，不需要什么 review process， 不是像苹果一样。可是你知道，我们要推荐的时候，我们会有一个 review team 也会看到你的 APP 和你的游戏。和今天提到的一些东西，就是你做好这个样，你的机会被 feature 会比较高一点。像你做 material design， 你是一个 APP， 因为你们都是游戏，所以也是你会用Google Play Game Services 啊，你也会了解我们的 policy。刚刚 Dana 讲的我们 policy， 你也看我们的 developer Android 的 website， 也看到我们的我们的基本的最执行，like best practices， 对 ，so that's all we have for today. Is Summer going to come up and tell us what's going to happen next? Summer? I think we're going to break the wall down and have some drinks. Yeah.
好，感谢各位嘉宾的分享，也感谢对，掌声感谢。然后我也代表谷歌公司感谢在现在这个点还留在现场的各位嘉宾。我们由于是2个 session， 我们这边有个墙，我们的墙马上会在5分钟之内打开。然后呢，会是我们今天的为大家准备的在那边的 happy hour， 会有一些吃的东西。然后呢，过一会儿我们会有我们的BD 团队的总监彭尼玛会来给我们致辞，所以请大家在这里稍微休息一会儿，请暂时先不要离开，好吧？谢谢。